Thomas Howard joined the Marine Corps in the summer of 1965.
We knew it was going to be going to Vietnam because that was what was the major thrust then, because Vietnam War was becoming a hot fighting war.
In the Marine Corps, Thomas risked his life on numerous occasions. He was a part of the Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 26th Marines.
So my whole military experience was training, preparation, fighting, and then when it was all over, I was able to be discharged and came back home.
While Thomas survived, not everyone was as fortunate. Lance Corporal Randall Lake was a man who served in the same company. In 1966, Lance Corporal Lake was a part of a special landing operation where he caught malaria.
It wasn't until sometime maybe 4 months later we heard that Lance Corporal Lake had died. The word came from the headquarters group, and that's all I knew. So I carried that memory for years.
We don't have a good picture of him, but Lance Corporal Lake is one of the men in this photo. Thomas admits he didn't know Lance Corporal Lake, but knew they both served in the same company. As a fellow Marine, Thomas was bothered that Lance Corporal Lake's name was not on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. The Department of Defense has certain criteria that specifies a person must have died under certain circumstances in order to be included to the wall.
And so I did not know what I was going to do, but I continued to try to learn more and more about the circumstances and the history of our company.
Thomas says at one point death by malaria was not a reason why someone's name could be added to the wall, but says that's no longer the case.
So I guess 4 years ago, I learned about malaria now being included on the wall, so I began to outreach to the Marine Corps, writing letters and things like that to try to learn what I have to do to get him recognized.
He reached out to his daughter, Kelly Kessler, for help. Kelly used to be one of the commissioners for Howard County's Commission for Veterans and Military Families. She reached out to her contacts to see what could be done.
We were able to connect with an author who had done some research around Vietnam veterans and malaria. And I did some, just working with my dad to contact them and say, hey, what do you know? Do you know who we would ask?
Kelly says they were even able to connect with Lance Corporal Lake's son. While the process has been time-consuming, Kelly says it's important to make sure fellow veterans who paid the ultimate price are remembered.
Kind of this idea of no one left behind, that, he died in service with his Marine brothers, and those that died, the 13 Marines that died in that particular time period, in those particular days, that their names are there, and we're not leaving him behind.
In Columbia, Jonathan Hunter, WMAR 2 News.